Hello and welcome to You and Your Next Love, your weekly love reading with me, Cesmina, here on Cesmina Tarot. So, just quickly, if you're new here, here's how the reading works. We're going to start by looking at you and your next love, who this person is, how you see each other, and what each of you wants from this connection. Then we'll take a look at how you might meet, unless this is someone you already know, and how this connection begins to develop in real life. And then once we've got all that context, we'll look at the long-term potential and whether this is something that could become long-lasting in your life. As always, this is a collective reading, so take what resonates and leave the rest. Let's get into your reading. All right, let's start with a card for your next love. Let's see who they are. You have the Star. Okay, so the first thing I'm getting is they're very gentle looking, and I want to say introverted. That's the first thing I'm getting. I think this person is very quiet or very surface level. I think that their past, I think that's what's made them this way. I do think this person has been knocked down many times in their life, but it's like they don't show it. They're very private. Like, you wouldn't look at this person and think they're going through it right now because they hide it so well. They're quiet, they're reserved, they're very calm. I'm feeling this really calming presence. It's honestly like they don't want to trouble anyone with their problems. So very caring, very empathic. I also think they're very optimistic. I feel like they use anything bad from their past to motivate them, to look after themselves. They keep good habits, this person. They don't let their past define them, at least not in a negative way. They use it as like a reminder to look after themselves, to get down to the gym, to study, whatever it may be. So they may seem very talented or gifted or maybe just very healthy, and you'll be like, I wonder what motivates them, what keeps them on track, what stops them from breaking that habit. And the answer to that is that their past is their motivator. That's what gets them into these habits. That's what keeps them in these habits. But you'd never know because they don't like to talk about it or dwell on it. They don't believe in that. So I think when you're talking to this person, they won't be very deep. They'll be very light, very calm and chill, very surface level. They're not the kind of person to overshare. They might not even be big on social media either. Maybe they don't post very much. And if they do, I think if they do post, it's very specific things. It could even be these healthy habits that their past helps them stick to. There is a quick message coming through here actually about what they want in a relationship. We'll get more in their third card about that. But what I'm feeling is that this person, they only want something real. They don't want something that's just for fun. But I think because of their past, they may be very slow moving because it's like they're a bit scared and a bit protective of themselves because of their past. So we could be looking at some past relationship trauma here. Okay, let's see about you now. We'll come back to your person in a minute. But yeah, they're very private, but I think also a very calming presence, very chill. That's what I'm getting, very, very chill. Let's get a card for you now. Take a look at your energy. You have the Wheel of Fortune. Oh, okay, interesting. So I'm already getting that you might meet this person in a place where you're like improving yourselves. So the gym or learning a new skill. So maybe a college or a class. And the reason I say that is because the wheel here is making me think that you're trying to improve yourself. I think you're just starting that, or you're in the early stages of it. You're making a change though, and just seeing where it goes. Your energy feels very free spirited to me. You feel very, let's just go with the flow. So I can actually already see mirroring here between you and this person with that laid back and chill energy. But yeah, I feel like you've made a change recently that's really changed the way you think. I think it's had a bigger impact on you mentally than it has physically. I think because of this recent change, you're like ready for the next level. You're ready for a new challenge. I think you're just sort of trying things out at the moment, honestly. There's nothing really structured or planned here. That's not the sort of person you are. You're very spontaneous, and like you go with your gut. You don't really think, you just jump right in. And I think you jump right into things, but then you jump out of them quickly too. I think you're very energetic, maybe very chatty as well. I think there's always something new with you as well. I feel like your social media, in particular, is very interesting to look at because it's like this library of when you've sort of tried something new and then started something else new. I don't think you necessarily abandon these new things. I think you sort of flip flop between them. You sort of go back to these things every now and then. Um, so I think whoever comes into your life, they really have to catch your eye. I think you've you need someone who's going to keep your attention. And I think that might be this person. Let's see what this person will think of you, their first impressions of you. You have the Nine of Cups. Okay, so this makes sense to me. I do think there is a big difference between you and this person. I think that they're quiet and you're kind of loud. And I think when they first see you, or when they're first around you, when they're first in your orbit, that's what you're doing. You're being very loud, you're being very silly, very funny, and they're like, oh my God, like they do like it. Um, I think you come across as very confident when they first see you. They don't think that you're insecure at all. They think that you're very comfortable with yourself as a person. Um, I think you're a very funny person, and I think you find a lot of things funny as well. You feel very light to me, so I feel like you laugh a lot. I think you're very honest as well, very blunt and straightforward. You might even be a little outrageous sometimes. Maybe that's how you make people laugh, because you say things that nobody else would dare say. Um, I think that's how you make this person laugh. I think that's sort of going to be their first interaction with you. Like, you'll say something and they'll laugh because they can't believe that you just said that. Um, but what's being outlined to me is the confidence. They like how confident you are. Um, and I think that's because of the contrast. I think it's because they're so quiet. It's like they're fascinated with you. I don't think they've ever seen anything like you. I think you'll come across as someone who's very together. They won't see you as somebody who has any problems in their life, or at least somebody who manages the problems in their life very well. There is a little bit of mirroring there again. Um, but yeah, they see you as someone who's very happy and very confident and very comfortable. I think as well in text, I think you're also very surface level. But you're not as chill as them. You're very fun, you're very alive, you're very exciting. Um, like I said, you're the sort of person who always has something going on. And so I think when you start texting this person, they're going to look down at their phone and see a text from you, and they'll think to themselves, what are they up to now? What have they gotten themselves into now? Um, so their first impression of you, someone who has their life on track, and they'll like that because that's how they like to be. They want to be together. They want to have somebody who is optimistic like they are. They'll also see you as somebody who's exciting and spontaneous. Um, Although in the beginning, I am getting that they may feel like you're a little bit unobtainable, somebody who's hard to pin down, maybe, but very confident. That's the main word I'm getting, is confident, and a little crazy too. So let's go to your next card now and see what you think of them, what your first impressions of them are. You have the Ten of Pentacles. Okay, so interesting first impressions in this one. You might think that this person is very quiet, bordering on boring. You may actually also assume that they're already with someone. I think you'll be surprised that they're single. I really do. That might be because they aren't the sort of person to openly flirt or seem openly interested. Um, Again, they are very quiet and calm. There is mirroring energy here again because you'll also think that this person has it all together. I was getting a minute ago that they seem so motivated and focused to you. You'll be like, that's really impressive. I wish I could do that. I wish I could stick to goals as well as you do. And you'll wonder how they do that. You'll wonder what motivates them. So I do think you'll see this person as mysterious. I do think you'll be curious to know more. Because some things about this person won't make sense to you, because I think that's because you're so different. I think this is like opposites attract, but there's something else here. I think even though you're very free spirited and fun, and you don't stick to things very long, I don't think this is something you've actually said out loud, but maybe you're getting a little tired of that. You're getting a bit bored of that, and you're thinking about maybe settling down soon, or wanting to be with somebody long term. And I think this person will give you that impression. You will see this person as somebody who you could settle down with, somebody responsible, someone solid. Maybe that's why you think they're taken. They're not. But yeah, I think you'll like how chill they are. You'll like how laid back they are. I think this is a little different for you. I do think they'll slow you down, and you won't mind that. I think when you're texting this person, they're consistent. They'll always answer you, this person. They don't play games. Um, this makes me think of daily check-ins. I think you'll also feel very important. Um, like they'll ask you how you are, if you're studying or you're working out, something like that. They'll be asking you how you're doing with that, how you're getting on, if you need any help. Very attentive. And I think maybe you're used to more flirty energy, more like mind games. So this person is going to be a nice change for you. Let's get their next card now. But yeah, they do have your attention because they're different. They're quiet, a bit mysterious. I think you'll be like trying to figure out what their life is like behind the scenes, because they're quiet. They don't really share that information. What do we have? So this card is what they're hoping for from this connection. You have the Five of Pentacles. Okay, yeah, so this must be their past. That's had a big impact on them. Yeah, there's definitely some bad relationships in this person's past. I think they've either been cheated on or maybe not, that someone, I think, left them when things were getting serious. And I think that was after this person opened up to them. I think that might be why they're so independent and so closed off, because they feel like they can only depend on themselves. So in a connection, they want someone they can trust, someone they can open up to and not get hurt. So I do think they're going to be attracted to you because of your confidence, but I do see them being a little hesitant because of that as well. It will be like, I really like this person, but what if this is just like the last time? What if history repeats itself? I think this person that's coming in is secretly very lonely. They do want a connection. They are a really good partner to have. I think that's why you get the Ten of Pentacles energy from them. They're solid, you know, they'll be there for you no matter what, but they're waiting for a person who can match that energy. And I feel like you do match their energy. You match their energy already because you're laid back and chill as well. And I think they'll notice that and they'll be looking at you and wondering if you could match their energy in other places. I think they're very private, but when you two get closer, they'll open up slightly and see if you could match that energy. Like they'll be a bit more emotional with you and see what you do. I really do think they're looking for someone they can be themselves with, who they can be vulnerable with and not as strong or as independent as they are on a daily basis. So kindness, I think, is a big thing for this person. They're looking for someone who won't judge them. And I think you'll be surprised later on down the line, the texts that this person will remember. It will be things that you didn't really think anything of at the time, but they'll be like, you were really kind or you were really nice to me about this, and it means a lot to me. And that will mean a lot to them because that's what they're looking for. So keep an eye out for that. If they ever mention anything to you and they're like, you know, thanks a lot for that, that's because that's something they want in a partner. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Okay, let's see about you, see what you're looking for. I'm already feeling like you're bored with what you've been getting and like it's changed what you want. It has changed recently. You have the Lovers. Okay, so yeah, you're tired of casual, you're tired of playing games. I do think you may be very flirty by nature. Like I do see some outrageous jokes here. What are they called? Innuendos? Yeah, sexual innuendos. That's what I'm seeing for your sense of humor. Um, and I do think you're still like this. I think that's just your personality, but I don't think you mean your jokes as much as you used to. I think there's less meaning to them now. It's like they're just for fun. Because deep down, you're thinking, I'm done with this. I'm done with this lifestyle. I think I want something serious. I think I want to settle down. I do think you're still figuring that out. I don't think you're sure what you want right now. You feel like you're in a bit of an in-between phase to me. You haven't like woken up one day and thought, you know, I want to get married and have 2 kids. That's not what this is. This is you wanting something different, something a bit off brand for you, someone who's a little more settled, a little more together, maybe. You're more selective than you have been. I think your past relationships have had a bigger impact on you than you've said. I do think there's more mirroring there between you and this person about being quite private. Um, I think you might hide it better than them. But yeah, I think over time your type has changed because of how many times you've been hurt, and you have been hurt. And I feel like you've recognized a pattern there and you're like, nope, not again. It's time for something new. I'm not sure what, but let's try something different. And that's this person. This person is different. I think you'll like, when you're talking to this person, you'll reread the text because I don't, there's like this energy that you can't quite figure them out because they're not what you're used to. You can't read them as well. You're liking it. You definitely feel like you're the only one with this person. You feel like the center of this person's attention, and I think that's because of their consistency, those daily check-ins. I think that's new for you. Let's yeah, I think that's it for these cards. Let's get your next set of cards and see what other information we can get. So we've looked at you and we've looked at your person. Now let's see how you two might meet, unless you know this person already, and how the romantic connection between you begins. Let's see what we have. Seven of Cups. Okay, so I've already said this, but it must be important, so I'll say it again. I think you'll meet, or if you already know this person, I think you're going to meet them when you're trying a new change for yourself, a new healthy habit or maybe a new skill. Gym or classes are a definite possibility here. Doesn't have to be. So I don't think either of you are looking right now. I don't think you're looking for love, at least not obviously. You're both sort of keeping your options open, because you don't know what you want yet. You're still working out this wanting something new energy, and them, because they aren't sure after getting hurt that, they don't want to go with the first person that they see. They want to think about it and maybe have some time to heal. But yeah, neither of you are openly looking. Both of you are sort of seeing what happens in your day-to-day life, seeing who you bump into. But neither of you really knows what you want yet, if I'm being honest. And you're very different. This is like an opposites attract connection, definitely. So I don't think you're each other's like obvious choice. I think you may be friends or surface level sort of acquaintances before anything else. So I think you're in each other's orbit often. You're like a part of each other's routine, you know of each other, but you don't really know each other, if you see what I'm saying. I think you maybe follow each other on social media just because you go to the same gym or you're in the same class, or you work together, something like that. Maybe you like each other's posts every now and then. If they come up on your feed, maybe text each other every now and then. If there's something going on at like the gym or at work, wherever. But you're not like waiting on each other's texts. It's very casual, like friend casual in the beginning here. Let's keep going. Yeah, it's very laid back and very chill, maybe not even romantic to begin with. We have the Three of Pentacles. Oh my god, this is so weird because I said that I saw them checking in on you and asking if you needed any advice or any help with what you were doing. And that's exactly what this card is saying. Okay, so I think you do see this person on a regular basis, definitely. Maybe you'll be seeing them even more regularly. So maybe you're going to be going to the gym more often. Maybe you're going to be working a bit later, or maybe you're going to be having more time. You're going to be having more classes in the future, or just wherever they are, you're there more in the future. And so you're in each other's orbit more. You're going to be getting a little bit more familiar with him. You're going to be talking more than you were before. You're going, I think, from acquaintances to friends. I think you're having more experiences together because you're spending more time together. So you have more to talk about. Um, I also see you noticing things about each other. I'm getting printed shirts with favorite films or series on. That's like a talking point. But I'm also getting keychains for some reason too. But I did see that you're very chatty and you've always got something new going on. Um, and like I said, this person is going to start thinking before they see you, I wonder what they've been up to. I wonder what they're going to come out with today. But yeah, I'm definitely seeing them helping you or giving you some advice. They could be cheering you on, so that you don't give up on something too. Um, I'm seeing you two talking a lot. I think once the conversation is ended, you're going to be looking at your watch or your phone and you're going to be like, oh my God, we were talking for over an hour. That's so weird. This is where I think the daily texts start. Again, it's casual, but it's not. It's like more engaged than that. So things like, are you going to be in the gym today? Are you going to class today? Did you get the homework or the assignment? How did you find it? Was it difficult? Did you hear about whoever? So it is very casual. It is only friendly. It's not necessarily flirting, but it's also not necessary. If you see what I'm saying, they're going out of their way to talk to you when they don't have to. And I think you're doing the same. Let's get your next card and see what that says. We have the King of Pentacles. Okay, so this is where things start getting a bit more serious between you two. I think this is where you two realize you're seeking each other out every day. You want to talk to each other every day. You're sort of laughing together every day. You're thinking about each other every day. I think this is again to do with your person texting you every day and you like that consistency. I get a funny feeling that that's new for you. And I think you like that so much that you match their energy. And then they like that because they wanted someone who would match their energy. And then it's like a domino effect. There's also this energy here of you realizing how much they've helped you with whatever it is you're trying to do. It's like you look back and you're like, wow, that really helped. And they didn't have to do that for me. I think they will actually end up doing things for you daily, just helping you out here and there for no reason. It's like they're there for you all the time. I do think that's when you will start thinking about them romantically because they show up. But going back to your person and the daily check-ins, it's like there's this energy of, if I'm going to do this, I'm doing it right. They don't want to make another mistake. So I think when they start thinking about you romantically, you won't actually realize. It's going to be very subtle because they're so quiet and they're so private. You won't know anything about it until they ask you out. Um, I think, like for you, you're also thinking long term. You're going to be thinking, if this person asks me out, I'm going to make it clear that I want more than a quick fling here. So you're both thinking about this very carefully. I do see you guys holding yourselves back for a long time because you want to go about this connection in a different way than you have before, and you're sort of feeling it out as you go. Um, it's like it's really this energy of, if we're doing this properly. It's not quick, it's not impulsive, and like over in 5 minutes. That's not what this is. It's going to be more than that. It's going to be solid, it's going to be stable, because you're both coming in with that energy, and your person in particular is going to make sure of that. What else do we have here? The Fool. Okay, so this is it. After thinking about it, after thinking it through really carefully, this is one of you just going for it, just asking the other one out. I do think this is going to be a slow burn relationship, though. I think you're going to be friends for a while before either of you admits anything. And what's weird here is that this is a spontaneous card. Like, this isn't a slow card. So this feels to me like someone's going to be in their head. They're going to be overthinking, wondering if this is mutual, wondering if this is something they're imagining. And I think they'll do that for a while, but then eventually they'll just think, I've just got to do it. I've just got to spit it out. And eventually they will say it, because it's like they know if they don't, then they never will. This is also a very fun card too, so it's possible that someone just puts it out there, but as a joke. So it's like low pressure, so it can sort of be laughed off if it doesn't work out. But yeah, I'm definitely seeing overthinking starting in that King of Pentacles. Like, when you're starting to type a text and then you delete it and type something else, and then eventually it's like, I'm just gonna say whatever's on my mind. If I don't do it, I never will, and I want to. I want to do this. So it is a little bit reckless, but it's reckless after being careful. And things like, after this is said, things won't be the same afterwards. Even if it is said as a joke, it's weird. It's like low pressure but high pressure. But yeah, one of you will just say it. But it may be disguised as a joke. So keep an eye out for that. Let's get your last card now. So this is the long-term potential of this connection. So this card looks at whether this relationship could become something long-lasting in your life. We have the Hanged Man. Okay, so I think this is the kind of relationship where you will slowly find out whether or not it's long-term. I think there are going to be a lot of little stages where you'll think to yourself, I really like how this is going. Let's, do this now. Let's go to the next stage now. But it feels so stable to me, like there are daily texts. That's going to be a very big thing for you too. You're always there for each other. You're matching each other's energy beautifully. You're really showing up for each other. You're a part of each other's lives. I think really early on, like all of these stages feel so natural to you. And I think you'll just suddenly realize one day that you're a couple, or that you're serious. Like, you won't realize at the time, not in the moment, because you'll be present. I think you'll be so in the moment with them and it will feel so natural that you won't be thinking about that. So I think this relationship definitely has long-term potential because you'll adjust for each other. There's no there isn't any forcing each other to do anything. I'm definitely seeing respect from your person here that this might be your first serious relationship, and so they're going to be very patient for you there. And then for them, I think there'll be patience from you because they've had a couple of bad relationships. Um, and you're going to be patient with them for that. But like I said, each move in this relationship is really carefully thought out. This is real. It's not over in 5 minutes romance. It's really stable. It's like even on social media, you will look like an established couple, even in the early days, because it will be you two doing just everyday couple things, like, something like going out for a walk, something every day. Like I said, it feels so natural that I think you'll actually find yourself looking back and thinking, oh my God, how did we get here? When did we get this far in the relationship? I didn't even notice. Yeah, I think you're going to become really important and a big part of each other's lives really easily, even if the romance itself is very slow. All right, that's all that's coming through here, so I'm going to leave it there. I hope this gave you something to think about, and I hope it helped you in some way. But for now, I'll see you in my next reading. Take care.